Hi, this is Jackie Schoelerman with Schoelerman Group of Coldwell Banker Realty. Today, I would like to go over with you about the deposit dispute and when there is no deposit. Here we go. Even though a deposit is not required to create a binding real estate contract, most sellers will insist that the buyer make a deposit as a good faith intention to proceed with the transaction and provide the seller some assurance that the buyer will perform. Now the question is, what happens if the buyer does not make the deposit as promised? Well, in that situation, once the notice to perform is delivered by the seller, then the seller can cancel if the buyer does not make a deposit within the required 2 days of that notice to perform. Now, the next question is, what happens if there is a signed liquidated damages clause and the buyer does not make the deposit? Well, a liquidated damages clause only allows a seller to pursue the deposit actually paid by the buyer. It's capped at 3% of the purchase price for the residential property that the buyer intends to occupy. The next question is, what happens if there is a signed liquidated damages clause and no contingencies, and the buyer does not make the deposit as agreed, but then cancels in writing without a contractual justification? Well, in that situation, I would recommend for the seller to seek advice from a qualified California real estate attorney to give them advice as to the proper procedure to go after the buyer and seek the 3% initial deposit that was supposed to be put in the title company. So always before canceling the contract, I would always recommend for both the buyers and the sellers to seek a qualified real estate attorney to give them proper advice before moving forward of contract cancellations. Now, if you're thinking about selling your home and you don't know where to go or how to start, give me a call. I'll be happy to have a 15-minute strategy session with you to really understand what is important to you and guide you through that process.